What up? So I just got finished watching Dexter Original Sin episodes 2 and 3. Episode 2 titled Kid in the Candy Store and episode 3 titled Miami Vice. And I will have to say, I'm liking the show a lot more. That's what I'm going to say off the bat. It's not so much a review technically of the episodes each, I guess. I mean, I would like to, but I can't really remember much of episode 2 because episode 2 is kind of boring. And I was like, oh no. Like, this is what I was getting from episode 2. Episode 2 is Harry returns back to work after his heart attack, and that serial killer was trying to kill him, poisoning him, and Dexter's finding out, catching her, doing his Detective Dexter type thing, and then being hit. That was his first kill, was somebody attacking his family, his father, Harry. So that was good. And also we found out in that episode 1, that Harry had a son before with his wife, and that kid passed away. So now episode 2, he comes back to work, and kind of like also in episode 1, it was like the stress of realizing that Dexter has these urges and that he cannot control it so much as he wanted to. This code's not really going to work. Kind of like forced him to have this kind of a heart attack. It stressed him out so much because Dexter told him, like, I was going to kill this kid that was trying to do something to my sister. So that was interesting. But this episode is he returns back to work, and it's mostly about him returning to work, Deb having issues because she's trying to, she wants her father to stay around, so she's trying to make him eat right and do things, take away, things that he shouldn't be doing, like smoking and things like that. She's trying to be like the wife, mom of the house, and but she's not really connecting with her father that much. She feels like she doesn't have anyone at the house anymore because her mom passed away. That was the only person she had, and it's always Dexter and their dad, especially now that Dexter is working or interning at Miami Metro. Now, Dexter's storyline in this is trying to be normal. It's basically like this episode 1 of the first episode of Dexter, the original series, where Dexter comes in with the donuts, and everyone's like, hey, Dexter, he's telling you how he did this, like how he has to pretend to be normal. And in this episode, we're realizing, or we're finding out that he doesn't know, so he has to learn. And he's learning about being hazed because, he's excited that he solved he saw a dead body and he figured out through the blood splatter, just looking at the scene, that, oh, there was somebody, the guy was standing right here, and not like missing the obvious that, yeah, of course, all the cops know this because what was it? The bullet residue or the gunpowder residue is on the victim's head, like right there. You could see it, like it was a close range shot. The killer was right there, but Dexter was so excited, so they start like teasing Dexter, and Dexter he has to become a guy, like a normal person, and interact with people because he's never had friends or anything, and he's trying to be normal. And even Harry's like, listen, Batista, can you take care of Dexter to take him out and be normal? And he goes to this restaurant. I believe that's the same restaurant in the first few seasons of Dexter. I could be wrong. I haven't seen the show in years. I think it's the same restaurant. I think Batista ends up owning a part of it or something like that. I don't remember. It's been so long. But anyway, there's a picture of somebody that died, and they're going to give salute to that person. His name was Renee. And then Angel tells him the story that there's this drug dealer in the town. Now, mind you this, I never liked the original Batista. I liked him a little bit, but he got too overplayed out after a certain amount of seasons. I'm just like, I'm just tired of him. He's so stupid, so dopey. So, but in this episode, this series, I didn't like him. And then the actors started, he's perfect. And that's the thing with this show. All these actors are getting, even the Dexter guy, Patrick Gibson. I didn't like him as Dexter that much in the first episode until he, did his first kill. When he cut his hair, he started working in Miami Metro, and then I started. But this episode, although there are parts, like I feel like some segments were filmed, they filmed TV shows out of sync. There's some parts where I'm like, oh no, that doesn't feel right. But for the majority of the second episode, oh man, Patrick Gibson has every single Dexter mannerism down to a T, and so did the guy playing Batista, until he had to act and tell this story about the guy, Ferreira, who is the loan shark who kills and basically is responsible, and everyone in the neighborhood knows him. Batista knows it, but there's no evidence linking him to the actual murder of Renee or Renee's mother, technically, because he shot the wall to scare Renee, and then the bullet killed his mother, but they couldn't never link. They couldn't. I don't know. They could never link Ferrera to this. I believe. So Dexter gets excited because he seems like somebody else that needs to learn the rules. You know, he does. He doesn't. Oh, this guy is magnificent. Again, I cannot praise this girl. What's her name? Molly Brown. I don't know. Anyway, I cannot praise the girl who's playing Jennifer Carpenter's character, Deborah Morgan, enough. She's fantastic. Everything is from season 1 to just all the way. Season 1, from episode 1 till now. She's Deborah. She's perfect. Every little thing she does, every little mannerisms, every little facial expression. Her voice sometimes sounds like her. She is magnificent. Again, like I said, Patrick Gibson starts pulling it off. I will say the older characters, like Masuka too, great. The older characters, Patrick Dempsey doing Spencer, and Christian Slater doing, they're not really, but they're doing a good job acting-wise, but they're not trying to act like those characters. So you're not getting a James Remar type of deep voice from Christian Slater. I do think Christian Slater is actually kind of a better actor than James Remar. No offense to James Remar, but you know, he's not doing that. And the guy, the Captain Spencer, was that his name? He's doing a good job in the role, but it's not Spencer. We know his voice, his deep voice. He's in so many things, that the original actor. So like The Wire, I believe he was in The Wire. He's in a lot of TV shows. He's great. He was in Unhappily Ever After with Nikki Cox and E from Entourage. He was like the new Al Bundy character. Anyway, so fantastic, the original actor. So it's hard, you know, but Patrick Dempsey's a good actor. But I will say the one character actor besides Batista that I had a problem with, and it was only that one line in that episode that I had a problem with when he was giving that one little scene. It just seemed, but you know what? Batista, the actor guy, is not really a great actor anyway. That's why they kind of made him like a doofy, dope idiot later on in the seasons of Dexter. So I don't know. It was okay, but he did a lot of things in that episode that worked for me until that part, and I was like, oh fuck, dude. But everyone's great. Masuka's great. The one actress that is out of place, or actor, is Buffy, Sarah Michelle Gellar. I'm sorry, I even forget her character's name. She's the head of, you know, the forensic unit or whatever. She just, I hope she has a significant role in this. I hope something I hope Dexter has to kill her or something. I don't know. Or like, does she find, I don't know. One of the highlights of this episode was Camille, right? That's her name, Camille, the lady from, she's Dexter's father's friend, and Dexter goes to see her, and it's almost the same exact lines almost as the first episode where we see her and she's smoking a cigarette. Everyone's smoking a cigarette in episode 2. We also, in this episode, get to see the relationship of Dexter's father, Harry, and Dexter's actual real mother, and how it all started when they actually busted them, and how he was talking, how he befriended her in a way, even though he busted her, and kind of turned her into becoming his informant, and then using her for his benefit. And at the same time, although they didn't focus it enough, we get the point in episode 1 that his wife and him had a terrible relationship after they lost that kid. So we get that. But I don't remember them focusing too much on that in this episode. But anyway, that's pretty much episode 2 from I can remember. Oh, and Deborah steals the earrings that Dexter stole from his first kill, his trophies he kept in a box. And Deborah steals them because her best friend is basically pawning stuff that she has at her home, or stealing things and pawning it off and buying new things. And Deborah wants new things, so Deborah's looking for something in the house to take because that's what her friend told her. And she fucking goes to Dexter's room and she says his VHS tapes are like $30 a pop, and then one of them was the earrings. So she goes to pawn those, but they're nothing. They're fake. So she's upset, but she's got a pearl necklace on, and because her father said basically like, you got to move on from your mom, she was like, fine. So she sells it. And then the girl, her best friend, takes the earrings because I don't know why. She goes, can I have them? Whatever. Dexter will end up seeing these in the next episode, which is titled Miami Vice. This episode was much better because it was the Dexter episode. It was getting back to like he's on the hunt, basically. That's what it is. It's Dexter on the hunt. Dexter, he starts going after this loan shark, which is some of it is, but I get it, because I'm like, I go, Dexter wouldn't do this, but it's young Dexter, so of course he wouldn't do this. So I'm like, what the fuck? This is so stupid. But he does do cool stuff. This episode was a lot of fun. It was all the old Dexter things, going to the guy's, finding information of the guy, where he is, where he's located, going to his house, breaking into his house, looking through his stuff to get the evidence to prove that he's the actual killer. Takes a picture of this little book that this guy has all the information of all the loans he gave out, and he sees the names of the victims. He also did that in the last episode when he asked Camille to look at the old machine, look up the old files. So here he's just in Dexter mode, and it's fantastic. Deb wants to, I guess, get voted as captain or some bullshit. I don't remember what her thing is, but she all these girls are going to do coke at one of these other girls' house that's like she's running for the same position as Deborah. And she's like, God, we're gonna have a party at her house because her parents are going to Aspen. And she's like, but I can't get any coke. And then Deborah's like, I could get coke. And it was like, her friend's like, what? How the fuck are you gonna do that? And she goes, I don't know. So she invites the girls to her house for a movie night and to do coke. And then she convinces her dad to stay out. And she asks Dexter for help. And Dexter goes, I got caffeine pills and something else. And she's like, what? He goes, it's the same thing. Don't worry. It's not the same thing. Anyone at home, if you're watching this, don't try to get caffeine pills and whatever Dexter did. That's not the same thing. Trust me. It's not the same thing. But it was hilarious. How would Dexter know? Number one, honestly. Number two, it's hilarious because when he fucking makes it and he gives it to him, and also she has to help him because Deb's like, I'm helping you. Oh, because Dexter sees the earrings and he starts bugging out. Dexter sees that Deb's best friend's wearing the earrings, and she's in love with Dexter. After Dexter almost killed that guy that was about to grape Deborah, she's fantasizing about Dexter like crazy. So Dexter sees the earrings, and he's like, where'd you get those earrings? And he goes, oh, Deborah gave it to me. And he's like, and then he like rushes to Deborah. They get like the arguing, and she's like, I'll get it back for you if you help me get me coke. And he's like, what? So that was the whole plan. But really, he's like, she's not gonna get the earrings. She's not gonna ask for the earrings back. She says, just buy her this earrings, give it to her. I'm getting you a girlfriend, basically. Okay, loser? Like, you know, like, you haven't had a girlfriend whenever, you know, no one likes you. My girlfriend's kind of hot, and you know, it's cute little bonding. I like this little time, like these scenes of bonding, because then you remember the chemistry that Jennifer Carpenter had with Michael C. Hall. I mean, they did get married off of their chemistry in the first few seasons of Dexter. So now you're seeing this younger Dexter, which is actually he's actually only 5 years younger than Michael C. Hall was when Michael C. Hall played Dexter in season 1. I think Michael C. Hall was 35 years old in season 1 of Dexter. This actor's 30 years old, or 29 years, I think he's 30, or 29 years old, playing a 20-year-old Hollywood, right? So, yeah. We see LaGuerta shows up for the first time, played by Christina Milian. I haven't seen her in 100 million years. She actually, I did not like her in this season. I was like, oh, that's not LaGuerta. Oh, that's not. But I even looked, and like they put little dots, freckles on her nose to make her like LaGuerta. And it was about towards the end when she has a monologue between Harry and, yeah, her and Harry have go back and forth at the end, and Harry's like, I'll help you. Because Harry was set to watch her because she, like she always did, caused a big fucking ruckus, and her and Spencer always had this issue since season 1 of, and you always wonder like why they hate each other so much. They've been at each other since the beginning, and that's how their relationship even started. When she comes in, Captain Spencer embarrasses her kind of in front of everybody. Batista sees her, and he's in love, and we know they do get together. So they'll be together, which I don't know about this timeline thing though, because it's kind of awkward in a sense. You know, Batista goes bald. Masuka goes bald. Dexter is in this first season and he's there, and LaGuerta's like fantasizing about him, but like he's there now. When she shows up, he's there, and she's not looking at him at all. And you know what I mean? Like she has no, I mean, we don't know, but it doesn't seem like that. I remember the first line Dexter says was, "I wish she stopped looking at me like I wish she stopped doing that," because you see the way she's looking at him like she wants him. So it's just like this timeline doesn't make that much sense. And also like Masuka's in love with Deb, and then it's like Deb doesn't show up until she's in Vice when we see season 1. So it feels like she just started. So I don't know. It's just kind of like, hey, the original writer, a creator of the show, or showrunner is working on this. So, but I will say one thing for sure. There's a lot of love going into this. It's not done by people with an agenda and rebooting something or they care. There's a lot of care involved in this, and you could tell by the actors and almost every single. I really am enjoying this episode. Dexter's going after this guy. He tells his father about the earrings that Deb's friend has the earrings, and he's like, what the hell? And then that's when Harry realizes, oh, Dexter's not, he's like them. He's got to keep trophies, and he was supposed to be different. That was the whole point of the code. And, and it was just like, and it was interesting. And Dexter, he was like, he brings this to his Harry. He shows him, I found proof, because Dexter goes to where this guy is, this loan shark. He's watching a game, and he ends up borrowing money from him. Then he goes to where the guy is playing at a bar later the next day or the next week when he's supposed to pay back the guy the $500 he loaned him. And then the guy, that's his motive, is to shoot right next to the person's head to scare them. And that's what he does. He shoots right by Dexter's. Dexter is hilarious because, so you don't see Dexter's face because they're focusing on the bullet coming out. And then once it gets to like close to Dexter and you can finally see Dexter's face, he has that stupid smirk, the Dexter smirk. It's like he was excited, happy, like, and then, this guy's doing a great job. Everybody's doing a great job. I love it. So he tests the bullets and he discovers that the bullets are matched. So he has proof. So he tells Harry. Harry's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go with you." And he's like, "No, you can't. You don't have to. You can't do this. You don't have the stomach. You can't watch it. And I could do it. Don't worry about it." So Dexter goes, and every time Dexter now is killing somebody, I'm scared he's gonna get caught already, because he's not Dexter. He's not the Dexter we know, which is great. And it like, you go, oh, Dexter wouldn't do this, but of course he wouldn't. He's young Dexter. He wouldn't do it. So like, he goes to the guy's house, and he doesn't inject them with anything because he doesn't know how to do it. So he goes, he fights with the guy, struggles, breaks shit, and then he takes the guy to the fucking place. I'm like, there's no security to this arena where they're watching the game, or this casino, or this auditorium, whatever the fuck. And he ties him up there. I'm like, Dexter would never, because Dexter's young. And then Dexter fucking gets blood everywhere, but he has, a good amount covering it, but it's all over his face and his shirt and everything. And then he's throwing it in the swamp. I'm like, oh. Anyway, it looks like he's gonna get caught though. Not him, but they're gonna, like, of course they're not gonna catch him yet. They'll probably catch the swamp killer. He'll probably be the swamp killer before he's the Bay Harbor butcher, I guess. I want to know I was wondering how he's gonna get his boat. I'm like, I wonder if this guy has a boat, because they did a shot of him looking at a boat or something, and I was like, So, but I don't know yet. Anyway, that's as much as I remember about these first 2 episodes. Oh yeah, this little kid is in episode 2. He's a judge's son, and he's been kidnapped. And the episode starts out with him being thrown into a room, and then nothing's being said. So I don't know who the hell this person is and what this person's agenda is. But this guy cut off the little kid's finger and is just feeding the kid, and I think just now at the end of the episode, killed him. But it's just, I was kind of like, I kind of pushed off. But I think he's gonna keep, this guy might be like the first big serial killer that Dexter does kill. So this should be interesting to see. It feels like he's going after, that this guy's gonna be going after crooked judges or crooked maybe officers. I don't know, maybe. So we'll see. But I'm really enjoying the show nonetheless. I think it ended with, the funny part also with the coke is that Dexter, again, he does a Dexter thing where the girls are all doing coke. They get the Coke, the fake Coke that Dexter made, and like, oh man, that shit is pure. And then you see, I want to say Jennifer Carpenter. You see, Deb look up at Dexter and like smile, like and the other girl does it. She goes, "Oh yeah, that's great. Hey, oh I'm sorry. Do you want to do something to Dexter?" And Dexter's like, and he just does his little mannerism. He goes, "Oh, already ahead of you," and he goes, "I gotta go." And then Dexter's Deb's best friend kisses Dexter on the way out, and Dexter's kind of like, "Oh, I don't know what to do." This is just a fun show. I really do enjoy this a lot. Yeah, highly enjoyable. We see that Harry and we see that Harry and Dexter's mom, the CI, are gonna have a relationship, and we could tell. I think they need to have a scene with the mother next episode, probably, of like a fight or him not being like really close with his wife anymore, because they didn't show in the last 2 episodes. We know why they're distanced to each other. We get it now, but there has to be something else to motivate him, because they're very attracted to each other. And I will say, Dexter's biological mommy's got some great titties, so I will say that. But we see like how they work together, and that she's a good informant, and she's moving up in the ladder, and we get scared because we saw this guy was taking her to the storage containers, and we're like, oh no, is this when it's gonna happen? But not yet. Probably the end of the season, probably. But it was good, and we see it. She's like, my kids the babysitter's got him for another hour, and Harry's like, we should go. Like, Harry's like, I want to. Trust me, I want to. Especially because he was so nervous because they lost contact with each other for a while. This is a great show so far. I gotta say, it's a great show so far. Don't know how we're getting Harry's flashbacks when Dexter's telling us his story, but nonetheless, it doesn't matter. I enjoy. I can't praise this show enough. Episode 2 not as good as episode 3. Episode 3 was great. These characters, you just see the love, and these characters, and they're not doing too much of that garbage music that they did in the first episode, and those weird, stupid shots. They cut back on that. So, but good. I can't wait for the next one. I don't know why they aired 2 today. Maybe because the holidays. That's the only thing I can think of. But yeah, great shows. I give if I had to rate episode 2 a 3 out of 5, and I'd rate episode 3 5 out of 5. I really like episode 3. Anyway, let me know what you thought about these 2 episodes in the comment section down below. What did I forget to mention? I'm all over the place, I know, because I just saw it. I didn't write anything down. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there and my enjoyment of the show out there. Again, I said my least favorite character in the series so far is Sarah Michelle Gellar. But that could all change. Yeah. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, and I will talk to you guys next time. Peace.